Okay guys, so today I wanted to do a video on how to get into horses, because I know it's a little bit difficult for people who don't come from a family of horse people to get into horses. I personally come from a family where my grandparents had horses, and my dad dated a woman who was a show jumper as well as rode dressage. But so if you don't come from a background like that, it is a little bit more difficult, especially when you don't really know what you want to do. I know a lot of people who saw jumping, for example, and they thought that that would be a lot of fun, so they tried to do show jumping or hunter jump or whichever, or even cross country, and they tried it and they didn't like it, and then they just decided that they didn't want to ride horses anymore, when maybe that just wasn't what excited them. Maybe they wanted to do barrels, or they just wanted to do trail riding or whatever. So if you want to start riding horses, the first thing that I would suggest doing is look around your town or city or whatever and see what kind of barns are around you. So when you're looking at different barns, the best thing to do is to look and see if they have a lesson program, because the easiest way to get into horses is to go through lessons. A lot of time when people say that they want to get into horses, the first thing they want to do is buy their own horse. That's not really a good idea. The first thing you want to do is always take lessons, because lessons show you if you're dedicated to horses, if you actually really like riding horses, and it also gives you a chance to try out different disciplines so that you know once you get a horse of your own what kind of discipline you would want to do. So when you're looking at different barns, check and make sure that they have lessons and see what kind of lessons they offer. Do they offer all-around lessons? Do they offer only a specific kind of lesson? I know around me there are barns that are specifically hunter-jumper for their lesson programs, and then there are ones that are specifically Western, and that's all that they give lessons on. So you want to make sure that you check and see what kind of lesson programs are available, and if you can't find a barn near you or in your area that has all-around lessons where they teach you English and Western disciplines, then go to different barns. Go to like a lesson or two with one trainer and then go to another lesson. That's the best way of doing it, because when you first get into horses, you want to try out every kind of discipline that you can. When I first started riding, it was just I would ride down a trail and we were in a Western saddle, and that was it. And then I started taking English lessons, and I found out early on that I'm not really a big English rider. I don't really like it all that much. And I was more of a Western person. If I had just been subjected to English lessons, I probably wouldn't like riding as much as I do, because I don't like riding English. You want to make sure that you get a little bit diverse in what you start off with. Now, if you have a barn that has various different styles in which they teach, then, like, I know that there are a couple barns where I live where they have different trainers for different disciplines. So set up a lesson with one trainer and see how that goes, and then with another trainer, and so on and so forth. Or even just talk to the trainers and say that you don't know what discipline you want to ride in or whatever, and you want to see which one you'd like best. So that's the best way of getting into horses. The second thing that I recommend people doing is to do research. Now, I know a lot of people don't like reading up on information. That's not something that most people do. I was that weird kid that always went to the library and checked out every book on various subjects that I liked and read all the time. And you don't have to just go through your library. You can always look up articles on the internet. You can look at different YouTube videos, different YouTubers, whatever. But the best thing to do is to look at different people. A lot of people get so focused on listening to one person's point of view on horses and completely ignore everything else. That you don't want to do that, because one person's point of view on horses is completely different from another person's point of view on horses, and there are a million different ways to do everything with horses. So the best way to learn about horses is to take one subject and find 20 or even 30 different opinions on that same topic, and then figure out for yourself what you agree with the most. Find out different researches that support different theories and whatnot. My thing was always that I would hear someone make an opinion on something and say, oh, I think that this bit is better than this bit, or that this bit is better than this type of bridle, whatever. And then I would go and I would research and look it up and see what I could find out about it, and then make my own opinion. I didn't just blindly listen to anybody who had an opinion on horses. Just because it is a industry that has a lot of different opinions on a lot of different things, and you could have 100 horse people in a room together and they might agree with each other on one topic and that's it. So it is something that you want to make sure that you are checking various different sites and various different opinions on the same topic, and do that for various different topics in horses. So if you want to decide that your opinion on like bits or on riding in a helmet or whatever, look at different things. So research is another key thing in getting into horses. Another really easy way to get into horses is to just go to barns and ask if they need any help and help around at a barn, because then you're in an environment with horses. You might not be riding the horses, but you're at least learning how horses behave, what to do with horses, how to take care of them, and all of these things go into horses. Getting into horses isn't just, oh, I can go ride a horse for an hour and then be done. That's not what horses are all about. Horses are creatures that need to have us take care of them when they're in our care. They need to have their feet done. They need vets to come out and check them over. They need to have their stalls cleaned out. They need to be fed. They need to make sure that they have water. They might need grain or supplements or salt licks. They need exercise, whether that's by us riding them or by them just going and running and playing with their stablemates. So it's not just, I get to get on a horse and ride for an hour. So many people get into horses and that's what they do and that's all they ever do. And that's not what it entirely is. You want to make sure that when you first get into horses that you understand that it's not just jumping on a horse and going for a ride. It's everything that goes into having a horse that you can do that with. So anyhow guys, I hope that helped and we're going to end it there.